Alright, y'all. This is going to be the first episode of Next Gen Talk. So, basically what Next Gen Talk is going to be, we're not going to review any cars today or anything like that. We're going to talk about industry news, what's going on right now.
The hottest stuff out, all the good shit.
The hottest stuff out, or the lame stuff.
Or the lame stuff. Not necessarily.
It's kind of like, it's just a talk. Like, we're just going to talk today. We don't talk to you.
Us too.
You know, just think about it sitting down with your therapist, but like for automotive. So you have a problem with your old dusty car, come talk to us.
If you're a car fanatic like we are, you know what I mean? There's stuff you gotta talk about. You ain't even a car fanatic, bro. What do you mean? You just learned about cars the other day. Hold up. Wait a minute. I've been changing brakes since I was like 3 years old.
Changing brakes?
Don't want to hear it. Yo, I've been a car fanatic.
Anybody can change brakes.
My car is sitting right in front of us.
Oh yeah, the wheels falling. The one that the wheels falling.
Oh yeah. The taillight's kind of hanging out. I know what you mean. That's really the dents right there and all that. All right.
Nah, so I mean, what's going on right now in the news? Like, what you got over there, bro?
So right now, I'm looking at a page of the 2018 Buick Regal Tour.
Tour X?
Tour X, yeah.
Ooh.
Regal Tour X. So it's a wagon. It's a station wagon. Personally, I love wagons.
So before you go any further, why are we talking about some mom-ass station wagons?
Reason being, this is the luxury version. This is a luxury wagon that Buick just came out with. And
so basically, you're talking about wagons because I'm sure if you live in the U.S. at least, it's all about SUVs and trucks and crossovers. Like, if you think about it, your average auto manufacturer has like a pickup truck and like 3 different types of crossovers, like a bigger crossover and like a medium-sized one, and then a small crossover. Yeah. It's like crossover haven. It's like, it's cool and all, but it's like, it's kind of sickening because you got companies like Ford who have a plan of getting rid of all their like cars basically, except for the Mustang and what the C-Max, Focus C-Max, or
Focus C-Max
Active.
It's not in the U.S. currently, but what they do call it outside of the U.S. is Ford Active. It's coming soon, but that would be their 2 cars. So they're getting rid of the Ford Focus, the Ford Fiesta, the Ford Fusion. Yeah,
so Focus RS, like the rally type one, done. Fiesta ST is going to be done. The Ford Fusion, which was a huge success for Ford, is going to be done. No more Taurus. I mean, it's just going to be SUVs, crossovers, and then like you have the Mustang and
like
your
traditional F-150s, F-250s, those good pickup trucks.
You also have like, you know, Fiat FCA. They've been got rid of like most of the sedans. All they have is the Charger and Challenger. There's no more Chrysler 200. The Chrysler 300 hasn't been redesigned in like I don't know how long. And you know what I mean?
And
it's
I believe GM might be following in Ford's footsteps when it comes to getting rid of those cars and just having a few sedans. Yeah, Ari's definitely sad about that.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly GM's following their footsteps now. Like recent news from GM is like the Cadillac ATS-V they're stopping production. Now the good thing is it's the sedan that they're stopping production of for like the next few years to kind of like I think re-engineer the brand again. So like the CTS-V is still going to be there. The ATS-V is what they're getting rid of. They're going to get rid of the sedan but still going to have a coupe. But the good thing about that with Cadillac is it's not permanent. They said they're going to bring it back around 2020. And there's no other plans like with like getting rid of the sedans because outside of like Toyota and Tesla, I think GM, correct me on it, I think GM is one of the top manufacturers when it comes to like electrical and hybrid technology and innovation. So I mean, the first vehicles that get that mostly are going to be sedans and cars because it's easy to put a battery in those. They're lighter vehicles. They're usually more efficient. So yeah, I'm not too worried about GM doing that. But I mean, it does seem like it's mostly American companies that try and get rid of sedans because here in the U.S., I mean, SUVs and trucks rule the roads for the most part. But I mean, if you're watching from like Europe, I mean, I know y'all don't care about SUVs and trucks. A lot of roads are too small for that.
But also in Europe, you guys typically have to travel a lot farther than we do here in the U.S. Everything is closer, so you would have smaller cars that are better at saving gas, that are better at traveling around compared to bigger SUVs and trucks.
Yeah, so that's why we're talking about wagons, because you think about a wagon, you think wagon and you think like an old school like car from the 80s with like the wood grain panels and all that crap on it. But then you have the Buick Regal Touareg, I think the Audi A5 Sportback, the Porsche Panamera, and not only wagons, but like what they call like sportback or fastback cars, where it's like a 4-door sports coupe with like a hatch opening where you can fit more storage. So that's why, like, I think a wagon, like the renaissance of the wagon, is in a good place right now, because I mean, not everybody wants like an SUV, and then with a wagon, it's kind of like a missed opportunity for some companies, because you have the handling of a car, the handling and fuel efficiency of a sedan, but you could also get the practicality of an SUV or crossover with a lot of these wagons.
The good thing is, for like a lot of fanatics, you like how your car looks. You know what I mean? If you wanted an SUV, but you wanted something that's quick and you wanted something that looked nice, don't get me wrong, a lot of SUVs still look really, really nice. But like, one thing for me, I loved wagons. One thing for me that I like about wagons compared to SUVs is that they're shorter. They're flatter, so it is giving you that more of a fastback, sleek kind of look.
They have better center of gravity, so they handle a lot better.
Like my first car was a 2002 BMW 325 Xi sports wagon, and I loved that car. I loved it a lot, and I just loved the way it looked on the daily. It was something that I would not mind, and it was an older. It's 2002, you know what I mean? It was an older car. These 2018 ones, they're making it look more sporty, like they're making it look a lot sleeker on the front end. When
people talk about wagons, they think this. Y'all probably think it's something like that, like the wood grain signs. It's like terrible and whatever.
Instead, we're talking about something like this,
something like that, where it's like sporty looking, it's sleek, and that's like, honestly, I don't even think the Buick's the nicest one out there.
It isn't. One of my favorite cars that I've wanted for a really long time was the Audi A6. The Audi A6 or RS6, the wagon, the Quattro wagon, or the Audi A3. I love those Audis. Those wagons look gorgeous. The A3 is a lot smaller version, but I would have to say that A6 wagon would be a lot more luxurious if you were looking into those.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. So I was reading something the other day, and like a lot of people would think like a wagon's like a mom car, but according to the few sales that wagons have, apparently the sales are usually male, and they're like active, so they go cycling and kayaking, all that stuff,
because you have all that space. Yeah,
like you could get a wagon equipped with a roof rack, and you think about it, if you want to put a bike on there, it's way easier to load a bike on a roof rack on a wagon than on an SUV or crossover.
And to be honest, with my wagon, I had a roof rack on top of it, and it still looked nice. It looked really, really nice. If you were to put it on an SUV, the SUV wouldn't.
It would still look good, but some SUV, it's just too tall, so like, when you try and load it,
yeah, and like, you can't get up there.
I mean, it's not short people friendly, so like, I'm only like 5'7". Like, if I were trying to load a bike or like kayaks on an SUV, I'd be struggling. But on a wagon, it's just like, you know, put it right there.
And you still have a lot of space. If you were to fold down those seats, you still have a bunch of space in that trunk. They may not be as wide as most of your SUVs would be, but you still have a decent amount of space for whatever you'd like to put back there.
And then your seats could fold flat, just like an SUV or crossover.
You could still pull trailers with it. I mean, you can with a sedan, but you probably have more pulling power with a wagon, considering most of them are going to be all-wheel drive also.
Do you think with like all these companies like invest in like wagons and sportbacks, which, you know, if you don't know, a sportback is like a 4-door coupe, has the fastback roofline, but it opens up like a hatch, like the Kia Stinger, Porsche Panamera, the Tesla Model S.
Like, the trunk wouldn't open up like a normal trunk.
Yeah.
Because they have that kind of slanted rear end.
Like, do you think, because like right now, like crossovers are popular and all that, and SUVs and trucks, but do you think wagons and sportbacks can make a comeback, say like, you know, when the economy shifts again and the gas prices are expensive? Do you think wagons and sportbacks would be like the new like crossover?
I think if the companies do it right, you know what I mean? Because a lot of companies focus a lot more on SUVs. Not a lot of companies have wagons. Ford, exactly. I mean, they have their Ford Freestyle, but that's still kind of like an SUV.
That thing,
you know what I mean? Yeah, Ford Freestyle. It's still kind of like an SUV. It kind of looks like a wagon, but me personally, I would still consider it as an SUV. But
oh, that thing is dumb.
I think
that thing's gone. I mean, if you're looking for an older car, you can get it, but yeah,
I think later in the future, wagons can definitely make a comeback. I hope so too. I would love if wagons made a comeback. I'm about to get one.
Honestly, I don't think they should get rid of any cars. Everybody should have a choice. You should have like your heavy duty trucks. You should have your half-ton trucks, your mid-size trucks like GMC Terrain, Chevy Colorado, Toyota Tacoma. If you want to count it, the Honda Pilot, but that's kind of like a crossover body type thing. Anyway, like have those. Have your big SUV, your mid-size SUV, your small SUV. Have your wagon, have your Sportback, have your large sedan, mid-size sedan, small sedan, and then like the tiny like hamster type sedan. Like I know like not every single one of those categories is profitable, but honestly, if you think about it, I mean, it's not like these things aren't just not selling. They are. It's just like, you know, different categories. There's a car for everybody.
Yeah, I think when car shopping, not necessarily only looking at newer ones, you can look at older ones also, but like don't rush it at all, because there's so many cars out there. They're all different. There's so many cars out there that you can look at. If you don't want an SUV with a V8 engine that's going to waste all that gas, or you don't want something that high, a wagon, for example, would be like a perfect way to go.
Yeah, but then again, a lot of crossovers coming with turbo 4-cylinders and V6s. Like perfect example, like a Chevy Tahoe, for example, was using a V8, but Ford was able to get a similar size vehicle like the Expedition and put their EcoBoost V6 in it and still get. Actually, I think it has more power than the V8 that Chevy has. So they're able. I know, right? They're able to innovate like that. So it's not like crossovers are not efficient. I just think there's pros and cons to it.
Like me, if I wanted to, I love going to car meets. If I wanted to go to one, I wouldn't take an SUV, but I'd definitely take a wagon. I'd definitely take a station wagon. Yeah, it looked cleaner. You can like slam an SUV, but I would rather slam a wagon.
Alright, so there's that about wagons. What's the next topic, bro?
So the next topic is gonna be about the G70 that Genesis is coming out with. Genesis, yep.
If y'all don't know already, the Genesis G70 was released a few weeks ago at the New York International Auto Show for the US. I mean, everybody's known about it for like a year now, but it was finally released in the US, which is cool. It'll be out in spring. I forget what the pricing is on it.
I was gonna check that right now. What about the G80? Ooh, G90.
So yeah, so this is kind of going into the next subject, because the only company that it doesn't have any kind of crossovers or SUVs yet is Genesis, and people think it's like crazy that they're starting the brand off with like 3 sedans and no SUVs, since SUVs are the craze right now. But yeah. I mean, the sales are pretty solid, so people are obviously buying them. Now, the only issue that Genesis and parent company Hyundai is having right now is
these cars look gorgeous.
He likes looks.
These cars are gorgeous. They're really nice.
Is like they've been having an issue with like their dealer network. So, as you may know, Genesis is the subsidiary, I guess you could say, of Hyundai Motor Group. Now, the issue that they're running into is like, what dealers do they want to sell Genesis vehicles? At first, like every Genesis or every Hyundai dealer could sell like a G80, but not every single one could sell a G90. And it was going to be the same thing for the G70, their compact sedan, I guess you could say. That not every dealer was going to be able to sell that. Now they're saying like, you know, maybe we should have every dealer sell them and like see how it goes. So
the G70, the price starting at it, the price that it starts at is $32,000 for the G70. But mind you, with the G70, you're getting a 252 horsepower turbo 2.0 liter inline 4.
But you know the best thing about that is it comes in a standard. Yeah, I know. The US, where people don't want to drive automatics, or where people don't want to drive manuals, they actually offer a standard in the US.
How long has it been since you drove a standard?
A long time.
Been a while, huh? Yeah, my second car was a standard, and that was the car that I learned in. And like, I like standards a lot.
Yeah, so like initially, Genesis was supposed to have an entirely separate US dealer network within 3 years. Obviously, that's not a thing yet because having your own separate dealers for having an entirely new brand is already expensive. Never mind having brick and mortar places to stock with cars and have a whole different experience is like a whole nother price tag that I'm sure a lot of companies either can't afford or don't even want to think about. But now with Genesis, like now they're saying all Hyundai dealers have the opportunity to be able to sell like all the Genesis sedans. But they've changed it like a bunch of times. They keep changing it. Like they're playing with their emotions. Like all these dealers, all these Hyundai dealerships, they're like, okay, can we sell them or not? And they just keep going back and forth with all that.
And that's making it difficult for us who want Genesis. We want the Genesis.
Originally, it was a Shift product to 100 stores in 48 markets with an emphasis on urban markets. Now, I don't know why that's only a problem in the U.S. Like, do you know how Canada does it? In Canada, you don't have to go to a dealer at all. They don't have separate dealers either. They'll have like separate showrooms and stuff like that in Canada, but they won't have a separate dealer. But in Canada, when you buy a brand new Genesis vehicle, it's actually towed on like a little like trailer to your house, and like delivered to you. So I'm gonna show you all what it is.
I'd personally like to have my car delivered to me. I would love to have my car delivered to me.
Which a lot of cars are delivered, but like the way that Genesis does it, it's like crazy. So basically, it's on some truck on the trailer. It has like the Genesis symbol, and you know all this. It's in an enclosed area. It's not like on a tow truck.
And is that see-through or is that just a picture?
It's see-through.
Whoa.
It's see-through. So if y'all look at it,
put it sideways.
It's oh yeah, my bad.
Sorry, bro. I forgive you.
Press the wrong one. So it's a see-through like container where they're towing the car. And like even at like say if it's like dark outside or like at night, something like that, there's actually lights inside that little like trailer that lights up, that lights down on the car, kind of like how you would see it in the showroom. That's how it is being delivered to your house.
When seeing that, it's like a sense of accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like it like personally, it would make me feel really good, just to see that truck pull up.
Yeah, like that's like ultimately, if you're buying a luxury car, that is exactly how your car should be delivered.
All the time.
Like you have the symbol of like the luxury brand. You your car. You can see your car through the little.
When we say luxury,
container.
When we say luxury, we mean something like Genesis, not like a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something like that. That should always be delivered like that.
But even then, like sometimes you gotta drive those off the lot, you know, or it's like on a tow truck.
You
or
can
something.
peel it off the lot.
I guess if you want to do something like that, but like you know what I mean. Like they don't do that in the U.S. for whatever reason. But like in Canada, like that's dope. Like who wouldn't want that phone call and they see their newly purchased car inside like a little container with lights on it.
Where would you go to purchase the vehicle?
I think you could just do it online.
Online?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest,
because like Hyundai, Genesis, Kia, what they're doing now is they want to create this way of buying a car without actually having to go into a dealership where you could like schedule an appointment and someone brings the car out to you.
I wouldn't mind doing it online, but I still would want to talk to someone about it.
So what they do with Genesis, at least in Canada, is you book an appointment for a test drive.
Okay.
And the person drives the car to your house, like at the comfort of your home. Then like you're able to do a test drive, and that person, they're not a salesperson. They're like an advisor or whatever. So if you have questions, they'll answer the questions for you. So it's not like the pressure of going into a dealership. Like they come to you,
and then that eliminates the problem of who's going to be selling the Genesis.
Exactly, because they're not trying to make a sale. They're literally just there to bring the car to you and let you drive it and answer whatever questions you might have about the car.
That's a really good way of going about it. And like, if Genesis is already doing it in Canada, I don't know why they're seeing it as such an issue in the U.S.
It must be like contract issues or something that they're having. I don't get it.
Weird. But back to the models. Of the Genesises, you have your G70, your G80, and your G90.
G90 being the big boy.
With the G80, you're getting a 365 horsepower twin turbo, 3.3 liter V6 from the G80 Sport. Both will have 8-speed automatic transmissions with rear wheel or all-wheel drive, and if you wanted to, you can get a 6-speed manual, but only for the G70.
The 4-cylinder G70.
Yeah, the 4-cylinder G70, exactly. And you'll have our favorites, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, coming factory in coming standard in all those vehicles. So that's a good thing to have.
We didn't talk about the freaking Buick.
Considering, I know over here in New England, we're going hands-free. So Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
But I mean, pretty much all across the country, it's like hands-free.
Hands-free, exactly. So Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are really good things to have when it comes to looking for newer cars and your older ones. Try to get that Android Auto.
You know what I forgot to mention is a dope feature is the Buick Regal X or whatever. It comes standard in all-wheel drive. Standard.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what I read.
I don't. I mean, y'all can correct me, but I don't think anyone else offers that. Do they?
The BMW, my BMW had all-wheel drive in it.
Yeah, but standard. Well, that's like old too. But like I'm talking about like current day wagons or whatever.
I know the Audis have them.
Standard all-wheel drive.
I know the Audis have
Audis might have standard Quattro, maybe. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Quattro because that's all-wheel drive, but
the Buick is way cheaper. That's the thing. It's cheaper than Audis and Mercedes.
And it looks gorgeous. Like the Buick, you're still getting all those luxury features in it.
Even though the interior in the Buick's not as nice as like saying Audi or Mercedes. Yeah, but honestly, you kind of get what you pay for. But I mean, it started out with like 39,
33.
Around there. It started like around 30 grand.
Let me check real quick.
So I mean, that's the thing. You talk about this Buick, you talk about Genesis, and like you gotta wonder. Like some
29.
people, of course, 29.
29.
You gotta wonder. Like I know some people care about brand image, but is it that important anymore?
I don't care about brand at all. Like I really don't. Like yeah, you're always gonna see me like rocking like an Audi or a BMW, but that's just because I like the luxury. If Honda comes out with a car that looks luxurious, the interior is luxurious, the exterior is luxurious, I will gladly take the Honda.
Exterior?
I meant exterior. Exterior. That was my.
The exterior.
The exterior.
Use that now.
The Honda, a Honda, Hyundai, Dodge, Toyota, Ford. I don't care. Buick. I don't care. I just like luxurious. You know what I mean? I like luxury. So brand really should not be an issue.
I should get a Toyota.
If a Toyota,
boring interior.
No.
The Lexus is a little better.
That's why I wouldn't get the Toyota. But if they did come out with a sedan or a coupe or a wagon, whatever the case may be, and it's luxurious, then I would love to have it.
Speaking of Toyota, we weren't going to talk about this anyway, but just now that we're on the subject of Toyota, where the hell is that Supra, man? I know everybody waiting for that Supra.
I swear I saw that video like 2 years ago.
Oh my god!
I swear to God.
Like, I don't know what Toyota is doing when it comes to like.
I wish they'd
taking forever.
Supra, man.
Like the only if I look up Toyota in the news with the Supra, I mean it's only like a concept vehicle and they're talking about the old Supra.
What about
Do you think that's ever gonna come out?
The Supra?
Yeah, the new one. The new one that's supposed to be coming eventually. Like I feel like that shit ain't never gonna come back out.
I feel like if it does, do you think that customers like us would be able to purchase something like that, or would you have to have a lot of money? Because I know the original Toyota Supra wasn't
kind of inexpensive.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I'm gonna say no because I think what Toyota's doing kind of like what Honda did with the NSX. They're like building up all this hype for it, and then when it's finally released, like all these people can be clamoring for it. So then they're gonna up that price for it.
But I feel like they've also seen how popular Supra has gotten over the years, so they're most likely gonna raise the price on that anyway.
Yeah, I think it's not gonna be like affordable for your average person. I feel like they're gonna up that price just because like they know that they created so much hype around it.
Yeah,
and they're like, you know what? I mean, we can make some money off of people because everybody's waiting for this. We've been like 20 years or so. It's gonna be even more probably.
I wish
you're waiting for something like that. That's crazy.
I wish hopefully that Supra is luxurious. It better be for the price point. They better have better interiors.
They got Lexus with that LC500. That one's nice.
I love Lexus. Red interior.
That one's. I wonder, is that like the true replacement? I would hope not. But I mean, the LC5. It is like Toyota / Lexus's like flagship sports coupe.
I feel yeah. But not sure. What about I just checked it out. What about the wagon Tesla has?
So they got the Model S, which is like a sport bag. They got the Model X, which is kind of like an SUV, and then they got the Model 3. Now that's more like a small-ish car. I guess that would kind of be like.
It looks nice. They kind of made it look like the Ferrari.
Think so?
Yeah.
Oh, that?
Yeah, you see it? Look.
Oh, that's fake.
This one?
Yeah. I think that's like a concept.
Tesla S. The Tesla Model S.
Yeah, it's not like that though. On the back.
I want to see what it looks
It
like.
looks like a sedan, kind of. But anyway, that's all the subjects for today. If you have questions, drop them down in the comments. This is obviously the first
that's
next gen Model S. Yeah. That's the first episode of Next Gen Talk. Got questions, leave in a comment below. You want to talk about Greg, leave in a comment below. You want to talk about me, take it elsewhere.
I have an email also, so if you want to email me, it'll be down there.
Email your personal email?
Yeah.
Not Next Gen's email?
You can use Next Gen's email, but
you can email us nextgenrvws@gmail.com. It'll be in the description below.
Ooh, Gmail. I love Gmail.
Maybe it'll pop up in a video. But other than that, that's it. We're out of here, and have a good day.
This is the Next Gen.
We're not doing that, man.
Why not?
Cause it's lame.
Yeah, but you wanted to do it in the beginning.
I was playing. I don't care.
Okay. Well, this is the first episode of Next Gen Talk.
Next Gen Talk.
So
we might do it weekly. We might do it monthly. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
We're trying to do it weekly. Maybe we can do it weekly.
Hit us with your questions, and we'll try to answer them in our next episode of Next Gen Talk. While also talking about the hottest stuff out right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
On that note, we out of here.
Have a nice day, y'all.